When the hell did lawsuits become a thing in hip hop? Hey everybody, what's up? This is the weekly rundown where I'm going to pick a few topics that happened in hip hop news over the past week. Before we get into the first topic, subscribe to the channel, click that little subscribe button, right around here on the bottom. And of course, check out the Patreon. It is appreciated. I offer a few different things there. I'll give y'all one example real quick. Recently, I started posting updates about what I'm working on currently. So if you want to know why I haven't put a video out yet, what video I'm working on, am I in the writing process, am I in the editing process, you can get a sneak peek at that and many more things if you check out the Patreon in the link in the description box below. Kendrick is killing it, still killing it. His GNX album has become the longest running hip hop album to be #1 at 22 weeks, surpassing Pop Smoke's first album, which came out shortly after his death, unfortunately. Congratulations to Kendrick Lamar, props to him and all of that. Now, of course, many would say that this is, being done off the back of the beef between him and Drake, and that is very much true. Do I think that Kendrick Lamar would get #1 for this long if he was not beefing with Drake? I don't think it would be for this long if not for the beef and everybody anticipating what is Kendrick gonna do after he dropped Meet the Grams and Not Like Us. Not Like Us was the biggest song of the year, of course. And he released it, in May, I believe? And then this album came out in November. So yeah, there was a few month time period there where everybody was just waiting with anticipation. When is this album going to drop? Is he going to diss Kendrick again? Is Kendrick going to diss Drake again, rather? But yeah, 22 weeks. That's damn near half a year. That's actually pretty impressive. Like I said, in past Pop Smoke's album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, which was 21 weeks. GNX also was named Album of the Year at the 2025 BET Awards, and is a strong contender for the 2026 Grammys. Not surprised. Not surprised there whatsoever. I wouldn't be surprised if he won like freaking 10 Grammys or some crap, like.
Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go hand him a Grammy right now.
And don't get it wrong, I do like GNX. I think GNX is a top 3 Kendrick album, actually, which seems to be a bit of a hot take for some reason. But I like it more than the past 2 albums he released, Damn and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I was not too big on either one of those albums. And his tour has become the highest grossing co-headlining tour in history. That's freaking crazy in itself. Congratulations to Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Next, unfortunately, we're going to get into something a bit more somber. Young Noble from the Outlaws passed away from apparent suicide due to a gunshot, and he was found in his Atlanta home. If you don't know, Young Noble was the last member to be, put in the Outlaws by Tupac himself, because Tupac died a few months later. He died in 96, and Young Noble joined Outlaws in 96. This also makes the, I believe, 5th member of the Outlaws to have either been killed or died from various reasons. Unfortunately, they have had taken many losses, many losses. First, of course, was Tupac in 96, killed by gunshots. Then we have Yaki Gaddafi. As you can see, Tupac, Yaki, Hussein Fatal, died in 2015 from a fatal car accident. Castro, Tupac's cousin, still alive. Napoleon, still alive. He stopped rapping though, converted to Islam, and pretty much moved out of the country. Big Psych, aka Mussolini, passed due to health conditions. Mopreme, aka Kamani, Tupac's stepbrother, still alive. And of course, Storm, still alive. But like I said, Tupac, Yaki, Hussein Fatal, Big Psych, and now Young Noble. Since Napoleon stopped rapping, the only one still rapping in the group, I believe, is Idi Amin. And I guess he's just gonna have to carry on by himself, unfortunately. Also, I've read that Young Noble's family has started a GoFundMe. So, depending on how you feel about that, of course, go check it out. You know, donate if you feel obliged to do so. Wish nothing but the best. Hold your head up to all his friends, family, supporters. It's rough. Drake, on July 5th, released the song What Did I Miss? Considering his extremely, like, heavily covered beef with Kendrick, this title seems a bit, like, tongue-in-cheek, perhaps. But on the song, he sends shots again at Kendrick and Ross and other people that, dissed him, obviously, back last year when that whole situation was occurring. He sends a little subliminal shot here and there, nothing too crazy. Let me just show you real quick. I don't think it's anything that was very impressive or anything like that. But he says, "You niggas just better not ask for no favors. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's love from our brothers and death to a traitor. Let's go." Now, the favors could be a reference, of course, to how he's featured on so many songs by people. And, that'd be a favor because, Drake getting on the song, it's a hit. That's just what it is. Pretty self-explanatory. Death to a traitor could be pretty much anyone that was his friend. It could be Ross, could be Metro Boomin, could be Future. The list goes on. Then he has, "You switched on the guys and supported a hater. Let's go. What's the get back for niggas? It's TBD. I look at this shit like a BTC. Could be down this week, then I'm up next week." BTC is Bitcoin. It has been fluctuating a lot these past several months. Get back for niggas, TBD is to be determined. So that means it's unknown yet. So, yeah. And of course, switching on the guys, supporting a hater. The hater in this regard would be Kendrick Lamar. So, yeah, people switched up on him and he's upset. There's a multitude of people that this could be aimed at, of course. Yeah, niggas get punched in the face on some TLC shit, on the dead guys. Some TLC shit, cuz, my nigga, you gonna need a chili ice pack for your left eye. That would appear to be a reference to Rick Ross, cuz last year, I believe it was on June 30th, he was at a festival in Canada, and at the end of his performance, he played Not Like Us, the diss track from Kendrick to Drake. And yeah, he got hit up by some people in Canada. I didn't find that too amusing, apparently. And a security guard, I believe, got like jumped and so on and so forth. There's video of it online. Go check it out. Things got pretty violent, yeah. People don't play about Drake, apparently. "I saw bro went to pop out with them, but been dick riding gang since headlines." This line is what led some to believe that it is aimed at LeBron James, because LeBron James and Drake were apparently friends. Headlines, of course, is that song from Take Care, Drake's second album that was released in 2011. The pop out is a reference to Kendrick Lamar's show from last year, where like everybody popped out, you know what I'm saying? Mad people were seen there, you know. TDE was there. A few basketball players were there and whatnot. LeBron James being one of them. So that led people to believe that this is a reference to LeBron James. I think the song was okay. I did listen to it. I was like, all right, it's not bad, but what do you think though? Do you think Drake should keep on sending subliminal shots, especially after he filed a whole defamation lawsuit? He dissed Kendrick, told him to respond, gets the response, responds again, gets his response again, and then files a lawsuit for a rap beef. This is disgusting. I was raised in hip hop. When I was growing up, Nas and Jay-Z were going back and forth with each other. Cameron and Nas. A lot of people. T.I. and Ludacris. Jeezy and Gucci. Saying some wild stuff. Ja Rule and 50 Cent. When the hell did lawsuits become a thing in hip hop? Yeah, I can't get down with that. Also in Drake news, on a little bit of a more lighthearted note, Drake posted a picture of his abs, apparently, and it got him roasted online. And more rumors of him having fake abs, cosmetic surgery. It's really kind of ridiculous and kind of funny, as you can see right here. This is supposed to be Drake and his abs, and yeah, it just seems like he has some very clear body image issues and insecurities. And it's not just women, men do it too, okay, but I don't agree when women do it. All this cosmetic surgery, why are you so insecure with your body? Why? It's ridiculous. And why, if you feel like that, which we all have at some point, or most of us have, I'm pretty sure. I've been there too. Why are we not working out? Why are we not exercising? Why are we not going for a jog? Why are we not lifting weights? What happened to eating right and exercising? And that's not just Drake. That just goes to everybody. That's how I feel in that situation. I feel like it's kind of funny, though. You can see, for example, this comment right here. Ordered abs from Temu and forgot to add shoulders and try, lol. So I'm guessing they're saying triceps. Whoever he paid to delete comments been fighting for their life all night. Wow. But yeah, these rumors, as you can see here, yeah, started with Joe Budden when he made the comments about, visiting a plastic surgeon. And of course, they continued and went on and on. Rick Ross said it about his nose. Multiple rappers have mentioned comments about it. But like I said, that's just kind of laughable, honestly. But insecurities and how we deal with them, that's not the funny part. So don't get it twisted. Maybe Drake should see a therapist about his body image issues. He's a rapper, singer, and actor. I don't know who's expecting him to be a model. One more thing we're going to get into that was breaking news and headlines all over the place last week. And I'm sure you know what that is if you've not been living under a rock. The Diddy Trial. The Diddler. So, he was found not guilty of the RICO. And of course, not just that, but he was also found not guilty of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion pertaining to victim 1, Cassie, and the other count, victim 2, Jane, which everybody at this point has been saying that Jane is Daphne Joy, the mother of 50 Cent's second son. Now, some people call this a win, and some people feel like it's not right, some people feel like it's fair, some people feel like it's still too harsh, because he was found guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution, pertaining to victim 1, Cassie, and commercial sex workers. And then a second count pertaining to victim 2, Jane Doe. Once again, allegedly Daphne Joy. Both these carry a sentence of maximum 10 years. But the racketeering conspiracy is a maximum of life in prison. And the sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, also minimum 15 years, maximum life in prison. So essentially, Diddy has dodged getting life in prison. He should be out within a few years, maximum 10. And if they run concurrently, then it would just be 10 years. If it's consecutively, then that would be a maximum of 20 years. So overall, I would consider this a win compared to what he was originally facing, a maximum of life in prison. This is a win in those regards. Personally, I feel like shouldn't be a RICO, in my opinion. Once again, I ain't no freaking lawyer. I ain't a judge. I ain't the jury. Just giving you opinions based on the evidence we have here and what the court is seeing, what the juries are seeing. Transportation to engage in prostitution, technically, it makes sense a little bit. But Cassie and Daphne, or Jane, though, were not prostitutes. They were his girlfriends. The commercial sex workers, which would be the male escorts, they were sex workers or prostitutes, whatever you want to call them. So I kind of get that because the sex workers were, coming to the hotels and doing all that, so on and so forth. But he did have Cassie being the one reaching out to them and paying them and so on and so forth. So that does seem a bit odd. Now, once again, some people say that Cassie should have been charged, but apparently she got immunity since she got in the stand. So Cassie got away with $20 million from Diddy, $10 million from the hotel, and a $30 million total, and having no charges pressed against her. So this looks like a win for Diddy somewhat and Cassie majorly. So yeah, that's pretty insane. He's still not eligible for bail, though, even though he offered $1 million. Apparently because of his history of violence, which is true. Diddy has a history of violence. If this was a trial for domestic abuse, assault, or anything of the sort, I would say, get him out of here. Easy. Easy. He has a history of violence, even against rappers. J. Cole, Diddy, the whole Suge Knight situation back in the mid-90s. He has a history of being, I guess you call it a bad businessman. Ask the Locks, ask Making the Band. The list goes on. How many other artists did he sign and weren't happy with being on Bad Boys Entertainment? Well, Craig Mack, G Dep. We can name like 20 people here, but you get the idea. So yeah, my take is he shouldn't have been charged with a RICO to begin with. This was a waste of time, and if they were able to charge him with the actual like domestic abuse or something on those lines, then it would have been a pretty much slam shut case. But they weren't. So, I don't want to see no man in prison or anyone in prison, especially no black man, of course. But the things they charged him with, they just couldn't stick, it seems. So hey, that's just how it goes. He is still going to do some time though. He's been 10 months in so far, and they said that the prosecution is looking to get him about 51 months. But of course, that's a little bit over 4 years. But of course, the maximum could be up to 20. Do you guys think that he should have been found guilty of everything or not guilty on all charges? Or do you find that this mix is good? Is this fair right here? You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And of course, like I said in the beginning, check out the Patreon. Check the links in the description box below. Leave a comment with your thoughts. And I would like to make this an ongoing series, breaking down hip-hop news throughout the week. You let me know what kind of stuff you guys like to hear about. And I'll catch you guys next time.